Welcome to Louisiana Heart Beats. I'm Sudie Landry, and I am so blessed today to be able to introduce to you again Don Mitchell with Don Mitchell's Marketing Solutions, who is one of the members of our Louisiana Heart Beats team right now. And I hope you enjoyed the beginning of the show because that's some of his work that he has pretty well taught himself, educated himself, and he does a lot around AOC as a volunteer. So welcome to the show, Don.
Thank you.
We have come a long ways. When did you join Louisiana Heart Beats as our graphic designer and part of the crew? Do you remember about what year?
I think it was 2012.
2000.
Yes.
And so I have been here since 2010, so that makes it about right.
Mm-hmm.
And through it all, Acadiana, AOC, Facebook, Acadiana Open Channel is a multimedia station that allows people to come in. And if you have ideas and visions, it gives us the opportunity to share our dreams and our thoughts with the community. And so with that said, Don himself has come a long way just since I have met you in 2012 because you are always taking classes, or you're always somehow educating yourself and advancing your work. And if you really watch the opening, which was some of his work, then there's some of his work, of course, with the closing credits at the end of the show. So with that said, today he's come from being a volunteer to actually having a digital marketing company of his own, and he does a lot of volunteer work, and he's really been a huge asset to this AOC show. So with that said, Don, I wanted to share with the people, you know, some of the work that they saw as the show was opening up. I mean, that doesn't even cover half of what you do. We come in here, Acadiana, we do the best we can. Sometimes we have stuff that we have to edit out. Then we have Don edit it out, and then we turn it in. He makes us look good. And then, of course, we have our director who is in the studio, and if he doesn't switch and put nice stuff up on the background, then we have a very boring show.
Yes.
So it takes teamwork to have a great team, and I've always had been blessed with awesome team members. So he also is the one that takes our shows, and he puts it on YouTube. Now AOC themselves are putting it on our shows. Everybody's shows here at Acadiana Open Channel on YouTube.
Yes.
And of course, here we are new. We weren't always on Facebook as we're doing the show, which, welcome. Hope you enjoy the show. With that said, you have designed so many flyers for me outside of being on this show that I just appreciate you in so many ways. But I want you to share right now, it's about you, how you started off before you became so good at what you're doing right now. What did it take?
It takes years of hard work. You know, it takes dedication, you know, learning, and basically, you know, you just, of course, there's ups and downs, you know, to everything that we do, and you just have to stick with it, you know, and just keep trying and not giving up on your dream, and just grow and prosper and educate yourself. You know?
Now we're talking about you learning to do all of this fancy stuff. And right now, okay, let's just do like we have a new picture up there. And this is what? This is representing where you've come from to now where you have established yourself. Don Mitchell's Marketing Solutions.com.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and so therefore, we're proud of you being a part of Acadiana Open Channel, which has allowed us to come in and show your growth, but we want to give them credit for being a part of sharing how you've come from way back to what you're doing now. So with that said, I slightly mentioned earlier some of the things that you've done for me. So that's just one thing that you've created out of educating yourself. And your classes, did you go to the college nearby? Did you get online training?
I've took some online training of digital marketing, graphic design, website building, website development, you know,
Were you able
different
to
things.
take any classes here at AOC in any area that has mainly helped you through these different phases?
Oh yes, I've took camera operating classes here. Uh, you know, learn different things. The podcast classes. I've took classes about different just
Camera work?
just
What about out
cam-
in the field?
camera work in the fields. You know, I volunteer for Festival International, and you know, just
Have you taken any editing classes here at AOC
yes,
also?
yes,
So along the way, what you've done is taken classes and then it's upped your interest, so you went for more education.
mm-hmm,
It depends on the person and what their interest is.
mm-hmm,
Me is just talking because I have not got the ability to learn all this updated stuff that's way over my head. But I appreciate people like you who take time to learn all these different things. Through the AOC media that we're using right now, it has opened many, many doors for people to know what we're doing here. Also, too, as a community television station.
yes.
You want to talk about a little bit on the next picture
Uh,
coming up? Yeah. What's that? What's a podcast?
a podcast is basically an online way of listening to different shows, different events. You know, for example, if you don't have access to, you know, television station, anything, or you're on the road, you know, you could log into the podcast and load everything up.
Okay, so give us some examples of what's on your podcast working through AOC's equipment, I understand.
Right,
Okay.
right. Well, as you can see, this is Don Mitchell's Diversity Podcast. I try to be as diverse as
Okay.
possible. We have things from political events, spoken word poetry. We just try to be as diverse as possible, and you know, we are inviting, you know, authors, book authors. You know, if you want to do an interview, talk about your books, you know, we can upload it to our podcast station and have people to listen in on it, you know, and
It's another fantastic outlet to get exposure to
yes.
those of us that have maybe written a book or even wrote a song
Mhm.
or basically have opinions on different things
Mhm.
and speaking engagement. So it's an audio
Yes.
that you cannot, it's not a visual thing, but it takes some of everything and lets you hear, which
Yes.
would make it wonderful to listen to on the road
Yes.
another
yes.
way. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so in this podcast, what are some of the things that you've done? Let's kind of share that.
Like I say, I've done some Indivisible Acadiana. I've done 2 Indivisible Acadiana events when they went out on the ground in downtown Lafayette to protest different things, you know, to protest Donald Trump's
Anything that's going on
policy.
out there, you went out there with the camera
Yes.
set up from AOC.
Yes.
That gives you the opportunity to film this. Then you brought it back and did what?
Yes.
What did
yes.
you have to do?
I went out. I filmed the protest when they was walking downtown, and they had speakers and everything. And I've edited and I've put it on television, and then I just download the television version as a MP3 and put it on the podcast with the new podcast introduction and everything, and just upload it as a podcast for people to listen to.
I'm so glad you have patience to explain that to me, because I promise you, I would not have known it from the hill of beans until you started describing and sharing with me.
Yes.
Technology moves so fast, Don, that every time we turn around and try to do an update with someone, this is amazing. I mean, we were just having a radio station here not too long ago, and now it's gone from radio station to also being able to produce podcasts, which gives people like me with television shows, and like I mentioned earlier, more exposure. Okay, and you also, too, have shows of your own as a producer. Would you like to share in the past and the present what you've actually produced as a producer at AOC?
Right now, I am producing the Lyrically Inclined Poetry Slam, which is a monthly poetry slam and open mic poetry reading that we have.
Can we get that picture up there? Go ahead. There you go.
Yes, it's the Lyrically Inclined Poetry Slam and open mic poetry reading. We meet up at the Black Cafe the third Tuesday of each month. Sign up for the Poetry Slam or open mic. Starts at 6 p.m. And a Poetry Slam is a spoken word poetry competition where poets write original poems, memorize it, rehearse it, and perform it before a live audience. Judges are randomly selected from the audience to score each poet on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, with 10 being the poem that just people just love and admire.
And who was the winner last night?
Me, Ascension The Artist. I won for the second month in a row.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being out there and meeting other people out there.
Yes.
I'm sure you're telling them all about how they can get involved in AOC and use their talent and get more exposure and educate and share with the community at the same time.
Yes.
But also, too, in the past, I remember you having or still have a show about missing persons.
Yes.
You do that also, right?
Yes, and I'm going to bring that back up, Missing Persons Coalition, where we get active missing cases, you know, and we put pictures of missing people that's going missing. We like to start with the most recent and work our way on back, and it gives exposure.
Right, it helps those families get a little bit more help.
Missing people, you know, we collaborate with Halo's Investigations, which is a nonprofit organization out of Mississippi, and they have cases and everything. And I think they was on one of their cases was on Dr. Phil. One of the cases reached Dr. Phil. It was like really, really big, you know, and you know, we collaborate with them to get exposure, you know, and put their pictures on and let them run. We like to let them run about a minute each, you know.
Okay, Don, aren't you part of the upcoming team that's going to be out there filming the Festival International? Did you get on that team this year so far for AOC?
Yes.
Because I know you volunteered for quite a bit.
Yes, I volunteered last year. Last night was one of the 2 dates.
Okay, that you were going to.
But I had to do the poetry slam, so I'm gonna do where I plan on doing the March 28th. You know, workshop here at AOC, and then I think March 29th is the Downtown Alive.
Right.
I plan on doing.
So you are saying that anytime there is something that is here at AOC, if you're part of it, if you can, You try to volunteer and be a part of it, and that also gives you more exposure to meet other people, and that's how people get together and become like-minded in their projects and volunteers. Without volunteers, there would be no shows.
Yes.
So what I said that for is to say this, that is how I found out about you, basically because you were talking to somebody. I didn't ask you, actually you came around and started being in my presence, and before I knew it, you were on the team, and I was all excited about it. And that's how it works out. You kind of browse around and say, well, maybe we might be interested in that, you know.
Yes.
So,
yes.
like I said earlier, I'm so fortunate to have such fantastic crew members. Okay, so we have this one event there that did take place last night. You did participate, and you did win that event last night.
Yes.
Okay. So then the other events that you're involved in, personally, I want to thank you in the past, because Don would go with me and he would film footage from the Sweet Dough Pie Festival that's held every October in Grand Coteau, Louisiana. This last month was the first time, this last event, that we weren't able to participate because you were having trouble with your back.
Yes.
And what I'd seen you overdo yourself, it wasn't worth it. But they did ask me what happened to us because they didn't see any footage on ALC.
Okay.
So they did understand what had taken place. So you were missed. The
Oh,
footage
thank
was
you.
missed, and the event went on, of course, without us, but it would have been nice if we could have filmed it, but it wasn't worth taking a chance and pushing you too far. So I wanted to bring that up and thank you again for being part of that, and you've gone with me at other locations. And we've done filming on the road, is what we call it.
Yes.
On the road with Don and Sudie is what we called it. So
Yes.
anytime that things are out there, if it catches your interest, you'll be seen with a camera on your back.
Yes.
And that's where we have a lot to thank ALC for.
Yes.
So
yes.
with all that said, filming projects, is there anything, we have another, I think, picture up there we have discussed. Digital marketing, what's the difference between regular marketing and digital marketing?
There are different types of marketing. Of course, the difference is digital marketing primarily works on digital, you know, like on the internet, on social media. You know, you're marketing your whatever you're involved in on social media. It have a digital component. You
Could
know.
we bring up the Don Mitchell Marketing Solutions again? That picture up there kind of would explain a little bit of what digital marketing is all about. Yeah. Okay, for example, I'm old school, and when he wants to do new promos for this show, he's done some really flashing and dashing and sparkling and moving across the screen, and now he's learned me. I like it plain. And I love what he's done for our intro that you saw, and I love what he's done for the outro that when we're finished with the show. But you've incorporated a lot of colors into a lot of things I've seen you do, which is because of the digital marketing software, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's not something that you have to pretty well work toward getting that in order to improve whatever you're doing.
Yes.
Does
yes.
it make it easier with all the software? Is it easier or more complicated?
I think that as far as, like I say, you get used to it. You have to get used to, you know, and to learn the craft, learn the different components of post-production, editing, and as you learn and you grow, you know, you can, different projects require different graphics that fits into it, and you just educate yourself, you know. And I've went to school, you know. I've got certifications in digital marketing, website design, graphic design, video production, you know.
You're an example of succeeding and pursuing and just making yourself more qualified. Now, we have maybe 4 minutes left in the show, and I want people to know that you worked hard at everything that we showed up there on the screen, and it's all started with being able to be a part of AOC and just growing from there. And so now I know that a lot of people may not have heard you do your spoken poetry, and so I'm going to put you on a spot. Would you like to do a poem? This is just another thing that he does. Would you like to share your story or do a little poem? It's up to you. He's come from a long ways of being successful and encouraging.
Sure, I guess I could do a short poem.
All righty, and keep on, even the rolling credits. We thank you now for watching, and know that if you have an interesting story.
Oh, and if you want to come out to the next Poetry Slam, is at Black Cafe, and it's at 518 South Pierce Street, Tuesday, April 16th at
Time?
6 p.m. At 6 p.m. That's when we are signing up. And if you want to come out and bring some original poetry, or if you're a singer or anything, you could come out and sing. We have comedians for the open mic.
It's another way of getting that exposure and also sharing with the community what's going on.
Yes.
We want to thank you for watching the Acadiana Open Channel with Louisiana Heart Beats. And so we're going to turn it back over and share with you another part of this talent so you'll know why he just gave you that date. So go ahead, Don Mitchell.
Diana, you don't need a baby at your age. Daryl, you don't need a baby at your age. Christina, you don't need a baby at your age. Please give your bodies a chance to grow up and develop into an adult. See, she endured much abuse as a child while exposing the enemy inside her home. He stood a 6 feet ghost wrapped within tissues and flesh, inflicting psychological torture while her suicidal mother is smoking battery acid in the bathroom. She is wasted. She's too high to envision the demise of her child's cries while her friends begin to manifest unprovoked peer pressure, infested poison between their teeth. The truth they did not speak. They mispronounced their forefathers' misfortunes while masquerading how their lives is much, much better. Therefore, I dedicate this letter to every teenage female who is thinking about having a baby. Don't do it. Please, for God's sake, don't do it. You are just a child yourself. Think about it. I know the desire is strong and the love is even stronger for you to deliver that baby. But the limited amount of days you spend on this earth is a witness against the wisdom you lack to properly raise one. So please get some understanding first before you do something that you will later regret. You are better than that. You deserve better than that. A condensed conscience consumes concise credibility. Daughters and sons of Zion, don't waste your glorious beauty on foolishness. You don't need foolishness in your life because you are an angel that deserves a healthy baby when you're old enough and grown up enough to deliver it in righteousness. Thank you.
Yay, thank you. And as you can see, the rolling credits are coming up. But Don, did you write that?
Yes, that is an original poem.
Is that the one that won last night?
Yes, that's the one that won last night.
So most of your poems, if not all of them, are all originals.
Yes, well, all of my poems are original.
Most people's are. Most people.
Yes, yes.
Well, Acadiana Open Channel, thank you so much for watching, and Facebook. You just got a dose of a little bit of the different talents that we're so blessed to have on our team. And again, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you for this wonderful show and for sharing your talents of many talents. Many hats that you wear. Literally, you have one on.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Acadiana. Be sure to tune in every Monday night. Just might be you that's up here sharing your dreams.
Thank you.